Hello again. Thank you. Let's continue on, shall we? All right, so where I left off last time, I got a cube rendering. I can move around it with my virtual camera. And I also got some very basic lighting on my cube. As you can see, some sides are brighter than others. So the first thing I want to do is fix up some of this lighting. If you remember, I hard-coded a lot of that stuff here in the shader. And I want to be able to control the light from the CPU side. So I'm going to pass in some constants to the pixel shader. And those constants are basically going to be the light information. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, I have my vertex constant struct. I'm going to take that out of the main function here and put that here at the top. I'll put it here. Actually, I'll put it below my camera. Oops, I just messed it up. There we go. Just so it's out of the way. And then I'm going to make another one. So that's my vertex constants. This is going to be my pixel constants. All right, so what I'm going to pass to the pixel shader from the CPU is, so I need to know what the camera's position is. Vector 3. So the camera position. And then I will pass in the ambient color. What is it called? Ambient. Oh, it's called ambient. My diffuse color. And then the specular color. Now, I probably won't actually add the specular today because it's not complicated. It's just I don't remember how off the top of my head, and I don't feel like fussing with trying to get it to work. So I'll just put that off till next time to where I can do some pre-stream research to not have everybody waiting on me trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Okay, so what else? Camera position, ambient, diffuse, specular. Oh, and then the actual position of the light. I'll put that up here. So vector 3, light position. And I'll probably change this to an array so that I could pass in multiple lights, but oops, let's call this pixel constants. There we go. All right, so now if I come down here to where I was creating the the vertex constants, the vertex constant buffer, I could more or less just copy and paste all that to create my pixel buffer. So this is going to be constant buffer description. I'll call this pix const buffer description. This is going to be the size of my pixel constants. It is a constant buffer. Pix const buff data, and then that is going to point to my pixel constants. And then I will call this pixel constant buffer, and the h result is equal to that. So I want to pass in the pixel buffer descriptor, the pixel data, and the actual buffer, creating pixel constant buffer. I should probably specify vertex and pixel, and then this is, I believe, is going to be PS for pixel shader set constant buffers 0, 1. Let me just double check. Yeah, start slot, number of buffers, everything's still the same. And then that should be my pixel buffer. All right, so let me run that and see if I get any dissatisfactions. Error creating pixel constant buffer. All right, why? Let me just see, like, create buffer. I don't think this is the problem, but I'm going to go ahead and set up my C buffer here. In fact, that actually might be the problem. Pixel constants. And it's all going to be the same stuff, just different types. So let me copy all this here. And this will all be float 3. So if I do that, shouldn't really change anything, I think. Yeah, still give me the error. What am I missing? So I create a buffer descriptor, pass in the size and the type. So the one that has 2 parameters is the one I'm looking for. Okay, so I guess the bind flags is what I'm looking at. Where's the bind flags? That's what I'm looking for. All right, so the uint for the bind flags are, so I got vertex buffer, index buffer, constant buffer, shader resource. Pretty sure it's constant buffer. It means the same. Okay, yeah, so pretty sure that's cool. Then this is that? Yes, that's still working, but this is not, and that is because let me try to do it like this. Instead of using this CD311 little helper function here, I'm going to just try to do it manually. Size of constants. Usage dynamic, sure. Constant buffer, access, sure, I want to write to it. Structure byte stride, do I need that? I don't think I need that. All right, so let's just use this descriptor instead of what I had and see if that does anything. Nothing. Nothing at all. Oh my god. I'm probably doing something really dumb. Create buffer. Alright, let's get rid of that again. Let's try this back here and then. Oh, you know what? No, I don't know it. Let's just try pointing that to nothing. Still giving me a problem. What if I pretended that it's all the same thing, just for fun? So is it the data that I'm pointing at is basically what I'm trying to figure out. Cannot convert from constant vertex constants to void point 314. Oh yeah, so I need the address of that. Okay, so yeah, now it doesn't complain. So if it's something, what? Struct pixel constants. Why is this all? I mean, I don't see why that would cause a problem. Versus that. So if I change that back to pixel constants and run it. Yeah, so now it's not cool. What if I say it's the size of the variable and not the data type? Weird, weird, weird. What if I said it's the size of float 32? Yeah, that doesn't work either. So probably get rid of that. What is your issue? So again, if I make this vertex constant, same as I'm doing here, and then I also have it point to the vertex constants, it's fine, right? No? Vertex, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I misspelled that. Constants. Okay, so now I gotta fix everywhere it's misspelled. 296. Oh my god, I misspelled this a lot. So vertex constants. 428. Vertex constants. Vertex constants. That's on 430 and. Okay. Yeah, now it doesn't complain. And that doesn't make any sense why. So size, so that should be pixel constants. And that is spelled right. And this should also be pixel constants. And that should be the only thing I need to change for it to be happy. But alas, I get error creating pixel constant. Why? Oh, it's gotta be something so stupid. Is it something weird like the data has to be aligned? Like I can't have like, oh, you know, I bet you that's what it is. Yeah, I think because this data's all, like, I think I need to insert like some padding, to be honest. I don't want to, but let's try. F33 pad 1, F32 pad 2. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to, if this is in fact the problem, I'm gonna have to figure out some way to not do it so dumb. Alright, so get rid of this test garbage. Size of pixel constants, point to the pixel constants. Okay, so now that I add that padding, now it's happy. Yeah, so I think that's the issue. So in the shader, even though I make a float 3, it's taking 4 floats worth of space because of alignment reasons. It's just more optimal for the hardware to work that way. So when I make the shader, I mean the constant struct here on my CPU side, I have to add some padding here so that it's the same size on the CPU as it would be on the GPU. And I feel like there's a better way to do this, and I'm like 99.4% sure that there is. But for now, just because I'm just trying to get results, I'm gonna leave it like that because that's how I roll. So, all right, so now that that's not complaining, I should be able to set these parameters pass them into my pixel shader. Yeah, so I also want to update the sub resource every frame. Well, I guess for now I'll do it every frame. So this will be my pixel const buffer, and then it's going to be my pixel constants and the size of pixel constants. Ooh, can't hit too many keys at once. Okay, so no errors. So let's test it and see if I can now use the light's position. Oh yeah, here we go. The light position and not this one that I'm making here. Yeah. All right, so where's my camera? There we go. Yeah, just do it here. This is so unorganized. I'm gonna have a cleanup stream sometime just to fix all this nonsense. All right, so let's make a pixel. Oh, I already have pixel constants made. So let's say pixel constants dot light position is equal to vector 3. Let's just put it. Let's put it to the right, to the up, and let's just, I don't know. Yeah, something like that. And then we'll say pixel constants dot ambient is 0.2. I think I just put 0.2. Let me double check. Did I make a yeah. And then the pixel constants dot diffuse. We'll just make that 1. And then what else? Okay, down here after I update the camera's position, I will fix the so we'll say pixel constants camera position is equal to the camera dot position. What else? What else? What else? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. It's camera position, light position, ambient, diffuse, and I'm not worried about the specular for now. So let's see if that does anything. Oh no! Global variables are implicitly constant. Oh. Oh yeah, yeah. So this is actually going to be, I'll just call this diff color. And I think I want to just multiply that by, is there times equals? Probably not. Oh, and then that should be diff color. Yeah, there we go. And everything's working. And it looks like my light position is where it's supposed to be. Yeah, let me call this diffuse amount. Okay, so then I multiply that by the color. Oops. All right, so let's test this. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna make a variable to keep track of the light's X position, and then every frame I'm going to say that the pixel constants dot light position dot X plus equals, wait, no, I don't need to make a variable for that. I'm dumb. Okay, so let's put the light position at -10, and then we'll just increment it by the delta time every frame. All right, so I should get it looking like the light is moving from left to right. And yeah, it's working. It's going really slow, but it is working nonetheless. So let me do this. Let me make it a little bit more obvious. I'm going to put the light on the same level as the cube. So, and then I'm going to put the light a little bit more in front of the cube. So it should look like the light is passing directly in front of it. Yeah, it's working. So if you notice, the left side's getting darker. Now it's the light's in the front, and the light is now on the right side. It would be nice to be able to see my light. I'm going to try to render the light. How do I do this? This is all just hacky temporary nonsense. Okay, so I'm gonna do this up here. Then update the sub resource here, draw it again. All right, so then what I want to do, let me come up here. Matrix for, I'll call this the light model. And then, yes, put it at 1. And then what I should do is make a scale function so that I can scale a matrix down. I got one for vector. Yeah, okay, I'll make it right here. Static void scale. It's going to take in a pointer to a matrix, amount to scale it by, and then all I am simply going to do is take the main diagonal and multiply it by the amount. And oh, there we go. So now I can scale it way down. Model, and then I'm going to make it 0.25. All right, so then I want to basically say that the vertex constants dot model matrix is now equal to light model. And then I'm going to update the sub resource here and redraw my cube. There we go. All right, let's see if that shows me a light. I don't see any lights. Yeah. um, I'm not changing the position, changing the scale, but not the position. So where there's like, I made a translate, right? Didn't I? Okay, yeah, I should do this. Like everything, I should just do better, but I'm gonna just hack it again. So I want the constants dot model matrix dot m2 0, 3? No, 3, 0 is the x position, so that's gonna be pixel constants dot light position dot x. There it is. So I got a light that looks exactly like my cube. It's just smaller. All right, so now let's do some more fun stuff. Yeah. Actually, nah, I'm okay with that for now. For now, all temporary. We'll improve upon this later. I just still wanted to make sure that my light was actually working the way it's supposed to be, and it seems like it is. All right, so now what I want to do is be able to move my camera around using the mouse, but as of now, I don't have that ability. I have to use the arrow keys, and it's fine, but I want to use the mouse. So I have to figure out how to get the mouse's X and Y position, and then I also want to be able to set the mouse's X and Y position. So I think if I come up here to my WinProc, I can make a case for, is it mouse move maybe? Mouse move. So every time the mouse moves, whatever code I put in here should execute. Let me see if that compiles. And it does. And then I just realized I never gave these names. All right, so I'm gonna put this up here for now. And then, so I want to be able to print things out just for testing purposes. So I'm going to replace this with int main for now, just so I can use printf and printf. Yeah, okay, so that's working. Every time I move the mouse, it's printing stuff. All right, so now how do I get the mouse's X position and Y position? Mouse input, mouse movement. Yeah, I think here's what I want. Macros. See, I think if I use these, I have to import a different header file, and I don't think that's necessary. On mouse move. Because someone has a function for like get mouse pause. No. Get cursor pause. Ooh, that looks promising. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So give me the cursor's position in this LP point. What is an LP point? A pointer to a point. So do I need to make a point or an LP point? Let's do this now. I'm gonna try, if memory serves correctly, I think, make that static. I wanna make this static as well, and then I think it's just a point. I don't think it's gotta be an LP point, and I'll call this mouse position. And then so every time the mouse is moved, I want to get the cursor's position. So get cursor pause, and then I'm going to pass in the address of my mouse position. Does that do it? Yeah. All right. So then this point has an X and a Y. So if I want, I can just print those out, I think. %long int. And then so we'll print out the mouse positions X and the mouse positions Y. What do we get? We're getting numbers, that's good. But this appears to be the monitor's coordinates. It's not the actual Windows coordinates. See, I would like it to be 0, 0 up here, and then what is 800 by 450 down here. And if you notice, if I move the window down here, the numbers get much larger. So I need to convert this to the Windows coordinates, and I think Windows has a function for that. Where was that mouse movement tutorial? I think it was in there. Other mouse operations. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Client to screen. No, I want the opposite. I want screen to client. Is that? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to call that function after I get the mouse's position. So screen to client. I think I have to pass in the window so it knows what window I'm talking about. It's HWND. And then the LP point, so the address of mouse position. Yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. All right. Keep getting scared by that light. Yeah, so I don't think I need to print that now. What's next? Okay, so now I want, okay, so when I move the cursor, basically, okay, so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the cursor, I'm going to force the cursor to be in the middle of the screen. And then when I move it, I'm just going to take the difference that it moved from the center. And then once I get that difference, I'm going to move it back to the center. So every frame, I'm only taking the distance from the center of the screen. So let me make a couple variables here to, oh yeah, I forgot I could use my new one here. U32, U32. So this is going to be half. Width is my width times 0.5, and we'll do the same for the height. equals okay, and then so if there's get cursor pause, is there set cursor pause? What do you know? Okay, so this one just takes in an X and a Y, but is that screen coordinates or window coordinates? Well, I guess we'll find out. Okay, so let me make another thing real quick. I want a Boolean to know whether I should update the camera. Yeah, static Boolean, that's bool. I'll call this update camera, set it equal to false. And then every time the mouse is moved, I want to update the camera. So I'm going to set that to true. So I'm going to say update camera is true. And then down here in my main loop, so I'll do it here before I update the camera elsewhere. I'm going to do an if statement that checks if the camera, if I should update the camera, then I'm going to do a bunch of stuff, but then I also want to make sure I set that equal to false so that it doesn't update the next frame if I don't need it to. All right, so let me just try to set cursor pause to half width and half height. All right, so it's working, but it's not the center of my screen. So that tells me that it's probably screen coordinates, not window coordinates. Which makes me think that I probably want another one of these points here to represent the center of my screen. Let's see, we'll call this static point screen center. So I don't need to do this every frame. I want to okay, so yeah, before I show the window, I will say screen center dot x is equal to half width, and then the screen center dot y is equal to half height. And then I will do the client to screen, take the window, and then pass in the address of my screen center. So does that do it? No. That's because I want to use screen center.x and screen center.y. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah, so now once I set the, well, actually I don't want to do that yet. I'm going to do that, well, it's going to be done every frame. Actually, let me go ahead and let me do that before the loop starts, so that way my game starts with the mouse in the center. Because basically, let's say my mouse is over here and then I run the game, it will like move the camera to face that way from the very get-go, and I don't want to do that. So did that work? Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, now I can just get the difference in x which is the mouse positions.x minus the screen. Actually, it's now I'm dealing with. Actually, now I don't know. I think it's half width. I want to subtract half the screen's width, and then the y difference is the mouse position.y minus half height, and then I can rotate my camera. Let's multiply this by x diff times the camera's rotate speed. Y diff. So the y, actually, the x diff is going to move around the camera's up vector, and then the y diff is going to move around the right vector, right? All right, I think that's it. Let me try that. Oh, whoa. Okay, yeah, I think it's more or less working. I want to, here in my camera, I'm going to make a new float for the mouse sensitivity. Is that how you spell it? All right, so here, camera dot mouse sensitivity. Let's just make that 0.1. And then, so instead of, actually, yeah, rotate speed. So let's change. Yeah, so instead of the rotate speed, let's use the mouse sensitivity. And I just realized I got negative delta time. I don't think I need to do that. Whoa. Something's not right. I'm just going to make this really slow just to see if that's the issue. Oops. Nope. Just realized I forgot to put delta time here. Yeah, something's not right. Let me, okay, so let's not rotate those. Let's print out what x diff and y diff are. Oh. Oh, you know what? I am, yeah, okay. So I shouldn't use unsigned here because it's overflowing as far as I can tell. All right, yeah, I think it's working. I just had that way too slow now. All right, so let's put this back at camera dot mouse sensitivity. Yeah. Oh, that's a lot better. There we go. I can move with my mouse. I can move with my mouse. All right, it's a little jaggedy, I think. That's not too bad. Okay. All right, so now that that's working, I don't actually need to see the cursor. It's more of a distraction than anything. So let's figure out how to get rid of that. Remove cursor. About cursors, using cursors, set cursor. I think that's what I want. Nope. Cursor, about cursors. Tell me all about cursors here. Specifically how to get rid of them. Show cursor. Yeah, that's what it is. So let's do, right before I show the window, I'm gonna not show the cursor. All right, that looks good. I can move with my mouse. I can move with my arrows. I got a checkered cube passing as a light. All right, yeah, I'm happy with the progress I've made. I got a lot of crap code here. Let me get rid of this print statement and make it back, put it back to a window application. I don't know why. I'm probably going to need to debug some more stuff later, but just make it look like it's something cooler than that. And yeah. All right. Let me look at my to-do list here. So implement mouse look. I can get rid of that. There's always room for improvement. I still want to improve the lighting. That's got a long way to go. Gonna get the trig functions going. Let's see. Next time, I want to be able to render models. Right? My game's not just gonna have cubes. I'm gonna have at least some sort of humanoid figure in there. So I want to import models. I'm gonna call it meshes. Import meshes. What else? Importing that. Import textures. Yeah, so in order to do this, I'm going to need some sort of file IO. So I'll probably do that as well. File IO. So I can read from files, write from file, or write to files. Probably not so much writing to files. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to push all this stuff to GitHub. All right, so let's see, mouse look implemented. I think that's right. And push that. There we go. All right, all good. Thank you for joining me if you did, and I hope I will see you next time.